Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. I just finished reading a rather disturbing World Net Daily article, and the title of this is Gowdy Soft Pedals Suspicious Link in Libya Embassy Attack. And he's chatting with Greta Van Susteren. Now, what surprised me is the comments that Gowdy supposedly made in regard to why the ambassador was there and what the CIA annex was doing. There's also a comment here that I find really interesting, and that is when the House Committee released a report clearing the CIA did not directly transfer weapons to rebels. Now, what do you think the operative key word in that last statement or sentence that I read? Well, the word is directly, because they didn't transfer weapons directly to the rebels. They transferred weapons to Turkey. Turkey, in turn, transferred the weapons to the rebels. You see, so they're playing with words. They must think we're completely stupid. We, meaning the American people. Yeah, the question needs to be asked as well, was the CIA transferring weapons out of Libya to Turkey? I don't know how they would have answered that question, because that's obviously what they were doing. And for Trey Gowdy not to know why the ambassador's there, when the ambassador had notified Hillary Rodham Clinton a week prior to his planned visits to Benghazi. And what's interesting, as I mentioned in previous videos, a week prior to the scheduled planned meeting, Hillary Rodham Clinton reassigned 14 Marines that protected the facility. It is not an embassy. It's called a facility. And they hired the February 13th Brigade, which were not armed, other than with cell phones. And what they were doing prior to the attack, they were texting pictures of the facility to the men outside waiting to attack it. Look at MOV 01868. I've mentioned that particular video a number of times, and I made that video about 2 years ago. There's a date as to when it was actually posted, and you'll find the comments that I made rather interesting. I do believe that's what happened in Benghazi, Libya, and I do believe that's why it happened. I don't understand why Trey Gowdy's backpedaling. The only thing that makes sense to me is someone spoke to him. And what they whispered in his ear made him realize, I believe, that he needs to sort of get off the case. I don't want to suggest that either he or his family were threatened. I'll let you come to that conclusion all on your own, if that's what you choose to do. You know, we were all hopeful that Trey Gowdy and the Special Select Committee would bring an end and expose the stench and the rot that's in the White House and in this administration. But that doesn't appear to be the case based on the comments that Trey Gowdy made to the questions that Greta Van Susteren had asked. And again, there is a video that you can listen to, and you'll hear Trey Gowdy in his own words. For a guy that looked like he was on fire, determined to get the truth, well, he no longer appears to be on fire, and he no longer appears to be interested in getting the truth about what happened in Benghazi. What y'all need to know is there's no one other than the President of the United States that can give a stand-down order in another country. And based on the survivors that have spoken, they were given a stand-down order. which is why they didn't react as quickly as they wanted to, as they could have, and as they should have. Should they have done that? Should they have gone in when they wanted to? I have no doubt that the ambassador would still be alive. So would Smith, his aide. But that never happened. Once again, the only one that can give a stand-down order in another country is the Commander-in-Chief, aka President Barack Hussein. That by itself should tell you a whole lot. Once again, for the Special House Committee here to say that they didn't transfer weapons directly to the rebels says it all. Someone needs to ask another question. Well, where are all the weapons? I mean, you know, where have they all been shipped to? How come there's so few here, if any? And who is in control of them? Well, the CIA, the Obama administration. Read the article. The link will be attached. Watch the video. And ask yourself, was Trey Gowdy spoken to? I think so. Let me know what you think. I told you what I think.